NextFest is over now, but here's everything that I played. Ratatan from Ratatan Arts, the same devs as Patapon. Now I never really played Patapon, but I've heard about it so many times and so consistently since it first came out in 2007, so very clearly it's had some staying power. The menu music is insane. When I selected my character, a middle-aged Japanese man said his name in a cutesy voice, like he was hitting my omurice with the cute bean, and I'm immediately dropped into the madness. It's a side-scrolling rhythm roguelike. You input commands to a rhythm and your little minions carry them out. It's hard. Now obviously I have no idea what I'm doing, but even if I did, I think it would still be very difficult. Fortunately, the minions are responsive feeling, you input a command and they do it immediately, providing they aren't in an animation from your last command. So to some degree, it feels like a turn-based game. Some moves take 2 turns to act out, some don't. You get to act on every turn as long as you manage to input your commands on beat. Miss your timing, miss your turn. Well, pretty interesting. I feel like I probably should have played some sort of tutorial, but the game didn't really provide one, or at least watch some sort of YouTube video before attempting. But once you get the hang of it, I can see this becoming a pretty satisfying and addictive game, in short bursts at least. I think playing this for hours on end would drive me to the limits of my sanity. I'd be hearing in my dreams for a week. Tiny Bookshop from Neoludic Games. Leaving your previous life behind, it's time to start anew in a quaint little seaside town as a mobile bookseller. You meet the locals and learn about them as you cement yourself as a cornerstone of the local community. Sometimes they'll even want you to recommend books to them based on their preferences. Now, I wasn't expecting this game to make me feel as good as it did. It's clearly made by people with a very serious love of literature and stories. After stocking my shelves with what I assumed were nondescript books of varying genres, the game introduces the recommendation system. And you get a closer look at what you've haphazardly placed on the bookshelf. Turns out, they are all real books. And the range I saw in such a tiny space put a smile on my face. Everything from the Canterbury Tales to Beowulf, to The Bluest Eye, to Avatar The Last Airbender, and even insane pulls like the Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. You can decorate and repaint your tiny bookshop, and it's not just for aesthetics. Every decoration comes with stats that make certain book genres more likely to sell, but they all come with an upkeep cost that comes out of your wallet at the end of the day. Massively impressed. Initially I was expecting this game to be the sort of thing I do on the main monitor while watching something else on the second, but this held my attention the full duration. Bits and Bops Tempo Lab Games. It's rhythm heaven. If you know what that is, you've probably already heard of this. It's good. Rhythm game good. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound from the Game Kitchen, developers of Blasphemous 1 and 2. Ryu Hayabusa is back. Way back to being a side-scrolling action platformer. As a matter of fact, he's kind of even further back, because this game isn't about him. This is about Kenji, a younger Hayabusa ninja. The music's fantastic, the controls are super tight, and the movement and combat options available in the demo give you a sense of how fine-tuned you're gonna need to be as the game ramps up in difficulty. My minor complaint is that the dodge feels virtually useless from what I played. It doesn't take you very far, and it doesn't give you very much invulnerability. And this becomes pronounced in the tutorial, when they teach you that you can lunge by pressing X during a dodge. It's a cool move, well animated, but its purpose is kinda lost on me. Because the moment you press X to perform the lunge, you are vulnerable to damage. And seeing as this is a basically purely vertical move, it feels as if you should do it when you're passing through your enemy. But obviously as soon as you hit X to execute the move, you're taking damage and it interrupts. So I'm not really sure what it's for. Another small quirk with the dodge is when you try to fit through a crawl space, sometimes the dodge doesn't carry you the whole way through, and you're left stuck until you press it again. Even though visually, it looks like you're entirely out of the crawl space. Nitpicks aside, this is like an immediate pickup for me. Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault from Digital Sun. I poured hours into the original, and I enjoyed it a lot for all of its faults, and I'm excited to see what the second has in store. what they've improved on, what systems they've added, how they've expanded on combat, etc. Except the demo just stays on a black screen and needs to be closed via the task manager, so fuck me, I guess. Mio Memories in Orbit, from a studio I won't dare to try to pronounce, instead I'll just put it on screen. This one caught my eye at Summer Games Fest, or one of the conferences that happened during that week. It's a very vibe-heavy Metroidvania, and unfortunately that's kind of all I can say. For some reason that is honestly too unimportant to quantify, it just isn't gripping me. And unfortunately it didn't record with audio, but the music is very nice. Mina the Hollower, Yacht Club Games. I love Hollow Knight as much as everybody else, but I've been longing to see the studio do something else. Because let's face it, they have been making Shovel Knight and Shovel Knight spin-offs for a decade now. And it seems like thanks to that, they have the funds to take a shot at something new and daring. And it really is quite daring. Action platformers like Shovel Knight never really died off, but takes on 8-bit handheld titles kinda did. It has the same camera perspective as A Link to the Past or Link's Awakening, where it isn't quite top-down and it isn't quite isometric. It's some mysterious third thing that lies in between. It's pretty interesting because you have a jump, which, going from memory, is pretty abnormal for games in this style, and they let you get away with some surprising platforming. You can also traverse underground for a short time, which means that this game has 3 levels of elevation. Jump height, where you can still execute attacks, floor height, where of course the entire game takes place, and subterranean, and the game makes use of all of them. It will take you a second to pick up on the game's language and how it indicates to you whether an obstacle needs you to jump over it or dig under it, but it will click. You gain XP for levels, you get new weapons for new methods of smacking things, and trinkets, which I assume provide situational buffs and probably some nerfs. With a company like this that has so much hard-earned goodwill, I cannot help but suggest to try it. Hirogami from Bandai Namco Singapore. This was a very short demo, less than 10 minutes long. It's a 3D action platformer done in an origami papercraft style, and in keeping with that artistic theme, they have become the latest entry in a trend of animating at a deliberately lower frame rate, which is immediately a turn off for some people. You solve little puzzles and seemingly collect different origami creatures that you can turn yourself into, cameo style. Honestly, the demo was too short for me to say if I recommend it or not. It's such a small slice that it hardly feels representative. Eriksholm, The Stolen Dream from River End Games. Absolute standout for me. Pure stealth game, get caught, get reset. Kindly, the game over screen is very short, so it never interrupts your flow and keeps you in the action. The checkpoints are extremely generous as well. The cutscenes are gorgeous. There's a lot of AAA studios out there who can't get this level of cutscene fidelity. Everything has this amazing texture to it, the characters and animations are realistic, the voice acting's on point, and I say that as someone from the region of England a lot of these accents come from. The gameplay feels great, the world is interesting, there are collectibles along the way, and notes that give you additional context and story. While I'm writing this, I have 4 demos left and I can't see any of them beating this. And the weirdest thing about it, I generally do not like pure stealth games. Constance from BTF Games. Now, looking at the trailers they've put out so far, it clearly invokes memories of Celeste. And that is a double-edged sword, because on one hand, people get to see your game and have these amazing memories flood back. But on the other hand, it sets extremely high expectations. And they did not need to be set. Because this is not Celeste, nor does it play like it. This is a Metroidvania. It would be more accurate to compare it to The Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Combat seems simple on its surface with a couple wrinkles mixed in. Some enemies might have a shield and you need to hit them with a certain thing to get rid of the shield. You get the idea. An important element taken from The Lost Crown is the camera, and you can use it to take snapshots of your current position. So if you find a door that needs super missiles and you only have missiles, you can leave a marker on the map telling you where it was. The platforming feels great moment to moment, the obstacles are placed and spaced cleverly to have you thinking outside the box a little bit right from the get-go. There's also a surprising amount of enemy variety given the short section that the demo takes place in. Looking good, Constance. Oh, and if you die, you're given the option to return to a meditation point at full HP and work your way all the way back to where you were, or you can continue from where you left but with reduced max HP until you reach the next meditation point. Very cool consideration to add. Absolum. Now all of these devs are listed on Steam, so I'm not sure which is most accurate or not. But there's Guard Crush, there's Super Monks, and there's Dotemu. And for me, this is another standout. A roguelike side-scrolling beat-em-up is one of those genre combinations I don't know why I haven't heard before. There are at least 4 playable characters, each with a different style. You start with 2. You play along branching paths leading to different areas with different bosses and different enemies. Beat-em-ups are one of those genres I've always wanted to learn and get good at, but for whatever reason, none of them seem to teach you the ropes. They drop you in and let you figure it out. My issue with this lies both in my lack of patience and not knowing what I should be able to do. It's hard to experiment when you only know that half of the tools exist. Kindly, this one has a large orc lady in the hub who will teach you everything that's available. Dodging, deflecting, grabbing, punishing, etc. I actually stopped playing this demo before I reached the end because I know that I'll be picking this up. Date everything from Sassy Chap Games. Every household object gets anthropomorphized thanks to your new glasses, and now you can date them. They're all fully voice acted, and the voice cast is absolutely stacked. It would be safe to say that the dating sim is of course the primary genre, and secondary this is a game of spot the voice actor. Because if you're anything like me, every other voice you'll hear, you'll be thinking, I definitely know who this is. Here's an example. I'm not going to tell you who it is.
Hey, what up, hot stuff? It's about time we sparked up a conversation.
And I, just like any normal, well-adjusted, reasonable adult, went to the toilet to flirt with it. Turns out it's a French rapper called Jean-Loup Pissoir.
The rapper he knows how to go, plumbing and drumming or buzz about flow. You block these pipes, you'll be ending your life when he slams your head into the bowl. Oh, on a toilet roll, Jean-Luc Pissoir, out of control.
Not exactly my bag, but there are so many characters available. You will find plenty that you like. And interestingly enough, the game seems to give you 3 directions to take each relationship. There's the romantic way, there's the friend way, and third, there's some sort of hate path. So presumably you could play this game as just a huge piece of shit and make every single object in your house detest you. I would be really interested to see what comes of that. If you've ever wanted to fuck your kettle, take a bath with your toaster, or bang your piano, who's a person, on your bed, who's also a person, this is for you.
Betty, and I'm your bed.
Disco is Dead, Brainjar Games. A rhythm brawler that wants to make sure you do not mash. For the entire level that they give you, I was confused as to how this was a rhythm game. Sure, sometimes a finisher will match with the music, but nothing else has to be done to the beat. How wrong was I? The more on beat you are with your attacks, the higher you score, and vastly more important, the better it feels. When you strip back the veneer and all of the glitz from this game, the brawling aspect is just like the Batman Arkham games. Counter when indicator A appears, dodge when indicator B appears. But man, if it doesn't feel good to lock in and hit all of your attacks, parries and dodges on beat. As for being able to put your own tracks in the game, it seems like it could be a little hit or miss, but the songs that work I bet will feel amazing. The issue is you need to either manually input the beats per minute or do a little calibration to figure it out. So anything with a speed change will not work. I'm sorry to the math rockheads. For me, this is also a purchase. And that's everything I did. Bye.